16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
NEC Remit. Send money online to India. Credit in seconds with great rates. Download NEC Remit app now.
The exclusive franchisee of Cochin Kala Bhavan in Bahrain. With over a decade of existence in Bahrain, exclusive online regular classes have started for classical dances, music vocal, instrumental music, cinematic dance, Kathak, Zumba body fitness, karate and yoga, drawing, arts and craft, children's theatre. For more information, please call 3909 6845 3909 4806 3885 2397 or visit www.bahrainmediacity.com. Since 2006, Magnum Imprint have been offering high standards of quality with our professional team that delivers all your advertising and promotional requirements efficiently and promptly. For more details, please contact 39887088 or 33856330 or 33542530.
16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
NEC Remit. Send money online to India. Credit in seconds with great rates. Download NEC Remit app now.
The exclusive franchisee of Cochin Bhavan in Bahrain, with over a decade of existence in Bahrain. Exclusive online regular classes have started for classical dances, music vocal, instrumental music, cinematic dance, Kathak, Zumba body fitness, karate and yoga, drawing, arts and craft, children's theatre. For more information, please call 3909 6845 3909 4806 3885 2397 or visit www.bahrainmediacity.com. Since 2006, Magnum Imprint have been offering high standards of quality with our professional team that delivers all your advertising and promotional requirements efficiently and promptly. For more details, please contact 39887088 or 33856330.
Enduring pain is not easy. We do whatever we can to avoid pain and ensure ways that the pain is not repeated. Well, what if this is not within your human capability? Welcome to the world of pain of those suffering from sickle cell anemia, a genetic blood disease condition which gives the sufferer periodic episodes of extreme pain or pain crisis. It affects the shape of red blood cells, which are usually round and flexible so they move easily through blood vessels. In this case, some red blood cells are shaped like sickles or crescent moons, which could become rigid and sticky, which can slow or block blood flow. The condition with no cure is highly prevalent in Bahrain, and the country has adapted many a measure to ease the lives of sickle cell sufferers by way of pain-relieving treatments that can help prevent complications. Well, pain could not deter these two, Weish and Zakariya Al Kadhem, sickle cell warriors who hold responsible offices of their own in their countries and globally, helping their community in fighting their plight of pain. Anne is the founder of Painless Universal, an international platform for expert-led debate between global leaders, investors, and innovators with the power to shape the future of global healthcare. The British national, a mother and wife who grew up in the UK and in Nigeria, narrates a story of survival from the physical illness of sickle cell anemia and the mental stress that accompanied it in her book Painless. She used her experience in reaching out to fellow warriors of pain by setting up Painless Universal, an entity that describes its vision beautifully in a one-liner: overcome your pain while finding joy along the way. Meanwhile, Bahrain's very own Zakariya, who is the chairman of Bahrain Sickle Cell Anemia Patient Care Society, who calls himself the father of his community, has in every respect assumed the responsibility completely. The man stands as a pillar of support and a strong voice for his community of over 5,000 people in the country. The father to two boys, now with his international hat, is all geared up to assume the responsibility of the larger community of 27 million sickle cell anemia sufferers. The duo currently holds two top positions of Amplify Sickle Cell Voice International, an international organization created to give sickle cell warriors, caregivers, and advocates a voice in the safe space to express themselves. Sharing their views on their mission and the ambitious goal of achieving a statehood for their community, the Republic of Sickle Cell, and a seat at the United Nations, a larger vision to accommodate the needs of those who are battling oddest of pains in the bravest manner, are two warriors of pain who made a difference to their community and the rest of the world revolving around them. Anne Welsh and Zakariya Al Kadhem tonight on Success Statements from BMC Global Live.
Life is pain. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Echoing William Golding, yes, pain is universal. Facing pain with a smile, and not just but also inspiring and encouraging others to do the same. Two very respectful individuals joining me this evening on Success Statements from BMC Global Live, Sickle Cell Warriors Anne Welsh and Zakariya Al Kadhem. Good evening and welcome to the studio.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. Well, sickle cell disease, I'm sure people in Bahrain are aware of this condition. It's a hereditary condition, a very painful condition, and we have a handful of people, a large community, suffering from this disease in Bahrain and the larger world. So these two individuals who are with us this evening, Anne is visiting Bahrain for 3 days.
Yes.
And Zakariya is our own Zakariya, very much from Bahrain, the Bahraini man who is the pillar of support to this community. They are here to tell us more about this situation and their international responsibilities. They're both torch bearers to this part of the world and the larger part of the world. The Amplify Sickle Cell Society International, the voice, Amplify Sickle Cell Voice. They're literally doing that. So let me begin with the lady first.
Thank you.
And thank you for visiting Bahrain. It's indeed a pleasure to have you here, and I know this is the third time that you're coming to Bahrain.
Yes.
Let me begin with this question. How do you find Bahrain and the activities of sickle cell community in the country?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm coming all the way from the United Kingdom, London. That's where I call home. I love it here. I love Bahrain. I mean, you won't come to a place so many times if you didn't find joy when you visit the place. I'm blown away by their work, by the work of the Sickle Cell Society. I think it's fascinating. I can't believe there's any part of the world that can have a comprehensive care of sickle cell. And when I mean comprehensive care, I don't mean just care of going into hospital and getting better. I mean care, you get better, but what happens when you come out of hospital? Who does the continuity of your care? If you have to tell your employer that you're unwell, who does that? If you have to complain about anything, if you have to look after a child, who does that for you? But there's a community here in Bahrain, which I've not seen anywhere like this, anywhere else in the world. You know, I've worked in Africa, I've worked in the African continent, I've worked in seen Europe, America, and as a sickle cell warrior, I really applaud Bahrain for the work. I'm really just totally blown away by it.
Great. That is a wonderful start and a laurel to Zakariya to get a credit from a person like Anne, who is the founder and CEO of Painless Universal.
Yes.
We'll come to Painless Universal later.
Yes.
I love the tagline of Painless Universal, overcome your pain while finding joy along the way. You need to tell us the magic, Anne, as we go by. Zakariya, coming to what Anne just said, Bahrain has been seeing progress in terms of fighting sickle cell, at least in my experience of the past 2 decades. I have seen from where to where. But you are the man to tell us. Tell us more, please.
It is about willing. I think it was not only Zakariya. I think when I am one of the team. Sickle cell is not about medication or about doctor and patients. It's about living. It's about kids with the parents, childhood, schooling. It's about college. It's about finding a job. It's about finding your partner. It's about raising your family. Sickle cell warriors used to live up to 18, so has no dreams. Their maximum dreams to live up to 20. Then doctor realized that patient could live up to 40, which means they can marry, and they have willing, and they have wishes, and they have dreams, and they need to continue their studies. Bahrain, I think we had all the support from my government, from my community. Everybody was there for me, to help me. I was not alone. That made me succeed. And that made me, I believe that each of us born not an extra person. Yet each of us has his own mission. God created us and created his mission. I'm lucky I found my passion of serving my community. And I born with the sickle cell. At the beginning I was wondering why I born with sickle cell. I was upset with my God. Why you kept this illness with me? Then later on, 10 years after that question, I realized he given me a gift. He made me a leader of 9,000.
Inspiring.
Yeah, and these 9,000, they consider me not a colleagues. They consider me I'm their father.
Father, yes.
Yes. So if they are my kids, if I'm a father, if I am a good father, I have to act like a father, and I have to negotiate like a father. I have to sit and plan like a father. And this is what we did in Bahrain. And what we did in Bahrain could help and inspire other country, friends country or neighbor countries. And we can change. We can save lots of lives. We shifted from 42 as life expectancy to 65. We could reduce the ratio of deaths by 62%. For 11 years, we had mortality, zero mortality within children or adolescents or mother in the labor room. Means save a pregnancy. So every woman, she feels safe to have a baby.
Indeed.
This kind of success could happen, could help, could inspire some other countries, either in India, or Africa, or Jamaica, or wherever, could help. If Bahrain succeed, we didn't do magic. We did something which we should do. And I think Bahrain decide to bring everybody on board, patient, decision maker, a care provider, policy maker, and pharma manufacturer, and medical school, all together in one table, and they plan things, and that we end up with a good result.
Great. So the testimony, the man himself, I still remember we used to have fatalities to the tune of 40s and 30s, right? And
48,
yeah,
50.
48, 50.
Yeah.
And it's really impressive to see that it used to be every other day, remember?
Yeah.
And that is such a heartbreaking situation. And as you rightly said, the planning, the strategy, and as Anne mentioned, the comprehensive care, well, Bahrain really is a beacon to this region and the larger world in terms of not only this, well, we must salute the leadership on that note. A country that is very welcoming to anything innovative, anything creative. in all aspects, and especially when it comes to situations like this, the chronic diseases. This is what the people need, isn't it? Coming to you, and what brings you to Bahrain this time?
Bahrain is always a beautiful place to come visit to. I mean, even though the weather is much better now in England, anything to get some vitamin D would drag me out here. But what really brings me on a serious note is to discuss more in details and understand more how we could bottle up. I use the word bottle up because we all need to understand how do we take this to the wider world. We can't keep this Bahrain secret just to the Bahrain people. We need to let other people know that this marvelous thing is happening here. People with sickle cell do have prospect. People with sickle cell do have hope. And not because you have sickle cell means that you can't go to school or you can't get a job or you can't ask for pension. Because that's one thing I remember when I was a younger child growing up. I thought all my sisters, they worked in a job and they were all worked full time. And I never talked about certain things like long-term employment. I never talked about the pension. Because I thought, what's the point in bringing it up? I'm never going to be that stage, that level, to be able to qualify for it. But I come to Bahrain and they're all proudly, talking about it. So Zakariya, when he told, I've looked at his work, he showed me what they're doing at the Sickle Cell Bahrain Society. And I thought to him, gosh, we can't just keep this to yourself. Please, what can we do to amplify the work onto the international community? People in Africa, the African continents, people are dying needlessly. They don't even get to the age of 5 because people just don't know how to handle it. And as far as they're concerned, people with sickle cell are a course to society and they shouldn't be born. You go to the Indian community as well. In India, it's the same thing. Even in Europe, where you think advancement has happened, technology has happened, innovation has happened, yes, they are treating people with sickle cell, but they're not giving them that comprehensive care. I could testify to that comprehensive care of you come out of hospital. I had my son. I was so nervous. What if I get sick? There's this little child next to me. Who's going to look after her? My poor baby, my mother. If we live in a society where everyone has to be out and about, always on the move. So how do you tell people that actually with the integration, with the hard work, working together, people with sickle cell could work together? That's what brings me to Bahrain, to see how can we bottle up what we're doing and think about the work we're doing and bring it out to the community through organization, which Zakariya and myself and other members we've started talking about to amplify this voice and bring it out to international community.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this evening with us in the studios of BMC Global Live, it is the office bearers of Amplify Sickle Cell Voice International.
Yeah.
Mr. Zakariya is the chairman of the Amplify Voice, and Anne is the
Vice chair.
the first deputy, of the Amplify Voice. And Amplify has a very crucial role, isn't it? And to be honest, sickle cell is something which at least some countries, some people, they don't know much about. I still remember when I came to Bahrain, though I'm an Indian and we do have this disease, I had no clue about it. Because Bahrain being small and the community, so there could be many people who still is like me when I was 20 years ago. Why don't you tell us, Zakariya, like what is sickle cell disease and what does it do to a person?
Let me say it in away from medical.
Yes, for a layman.
So people can understand.
Yes, please.
It's about blood disease. The blood contain white and red cell and platelets. Let's go for the white and blood and red, and leave the white and go for the red. Red responsible to carry oxygen. The white responsible to protect the body. The red, our red shape cell is C-shape, while your red cells is normal donut shape.
Donut shape, okay.
So this round, when it goes smooth in the veins, and there is a traffic, each of them will push each other and will carry that oxygen and will continue flow the blood. While if it is sickle shape,
Okay.
then when they attach and accidentally touch each other,
They lock.
They lock,
Oh.
and there is a traffic jam. And imagine there is a traffic jam, which means it will slow down carrying the oxygen to the body. And body will start telling you that I have this area shortage of oxygen by giving you an alert. That alert is a pain. That pain scale, the scientists said in sickle cell pain, in some level there is a minor, there is middle, and there is severe. Some of these pain is 10 times about lady delivering a baby.
Oh, okay.
It is 10 times. And that lady is delivering that baby with happiness once a year, for
Yes,
example.
yeah.
And imagine that happen 32 times to a kid. He's 8 years old.
Oh.
How painful. And there is no cure, and there is no solution, there is no medication. The only things that you do, doctor, every time sickle cell or people with sickle cell, they go to emergency, the doctor has to beat the time, to raise the time, to stop the complication any happen. They want this patient to go back to their normal. So means the oxygen should reach very fast. The pain should stop. They have to give him a fluid, and they have to give him a painkiller to stop any complication might happen. Because we don't want to end up to lose any body organs. We don't want to lose. We don't want to end up with the disability, to end up to lose your kidney or your heart or your liver or your lung. We have to make this survive and to go back and active very, very fast. And we have seen that people with so many experience of losage, that's mean they will start examine the emotional problem, and the more attack they get, mean it will be exhausted. These organs, body organs, will be exhausted, being overused, and being attacked so many times. We will end up like people with sickle cell in age 20, but his organs like he's in 70s. So he will end up with fatigue, and that fatigue will sometimes we confuse. Is this sickle cell attack? Is this sickle cell pain? Or this is fatigue pain? Or this is emotional pain? Or this is loss pain? Or this is fear pain? Fear of death? Fear of loss? Imagine how many times when I get attacked early morning, and I try very hard to dress my suit or my full clothes, just to show my kids I'm going to work while I cannot. I wait till they get out from my home. They go to school. Their mom will take them to school. Once they get out, I throw this suit, I go back to the bed, because we don't want to show them. Then they don't understand. When we grown up, we want to do like father. He can sleep as much he want, but I want to show them that I have responsibility to do, even if I'm a person with an illness, with a disease. And we struggle. How many times I travel for summer vacation, but I plan to stay for 3 months. But in the 3rd day I come back because I had a crisis. I spoiled so many vacations because of crisis. I missed so many plans. In the stage of award and proud, while my children in the school, at the award day, and where every child look and he's waiting to be awarded on the stage. His eyes is looking for his father to say his proudness, see what I achieved, and he looking for his father, but he's absent because I'm hospitalized. I miss so many.
Yes.
These moments, I was not there. So it's about how we can do and to secure and save lives.
Indeed.
Not only the sickle cell, people with sickle cell, even their family, their kids. I should fix the sickle cell warrior and his family.
Right.
They don't suffer.
Yes, that was pretty heavy, that's why I did not interrupt you on the narration, because that is the reality which the sickle cell warriors face, or for that matter, anybody in pain faces, which another person, it's difficult for another person to gauge. It's just not even the tip that we understand. Well, as we move on with the talk, I'm sure they have bigger and better stories to share as to how to tackle this pain. That's why we have these two smiling people in the studio. Let's take a short break and come back. Welcome back to Success Statements from BMC Global Live, where we feature people who make a difference. And this evening with me are two important guests, one all the way from London and Welsh, and the second one, our very own Zakariya Al Kadhem, two sickle cell warriors. And let me come to Painless Universal and your book titled Pain-Less.
Yes.
It's all about pain, isn't it?
I think so.
Tell us the story which brought you into this world of pain, and how the beautiful tagline of finding joy alongside. It sounds like an oxymoron.
That was a difficult one to get, the title. When you're writing a book and you then have to think of what would actually be captivating, and I wanted something with sickle cell, and so many options of sickle cell. And I remember my husband saying to me, "And gosh, sickle cell is so you're putting it in a bucket, because sickle cell is more than sickle cell. There's a lot of pain affiliated with." I said, okay, then I should say pain with sickle cell. He said, why not do something with pain less? How you're in pain and but it's less of it. I didn't think anything of it, but I started I did a community toolbox with my friends and other people, and asked them, guys, what do you think of this name, Painless? And everyone's saying it's so captivating because it's not just your sickle cell.
And I love the cover design. It's a beautiful cover.
Yes,
the cactus and a
flower, because the flower is so fragile. You see us with sickle cell, we're so fragile, yet so powerful and so strong. So eventually we got the name Painless, living with pain, finding your joy. And that was just my own pure life. So it's part memo and part self-help book. I wrote this book because with sickle cell, it was challenging for me. I think you heard from Zakariya's story. I think everyone with sickle cell has this story to tell of missing holidays, missing everything. I remember my days. I was so excited about life. I finally got the job I wanted at the investment banking world. And the day of the interview, they gave me a date. I was like, whoa, I finally got a date. I'm going to get this interview done. I don't know, I think I was just too excited about it. And the day before, the night before, the next day when you're about to have the interview, 1 in the morning, oh gosh, I get this pain. I said to pain, not today. Go get a lot of things. I went downstairs, took all the pills I could take so I could numb out the pain. Oh gosh, no, it just got worse and worse and worse. And I thought, this is not going to get better. But I thought I was positive. I was very, very optimistic, saying this is going to go away. Don't worry about it, Anne. It will go away. At 4 in the morning, oh, the pain got worse. I just said, I can't breathe anymore. Even if I have to go, because the interview was about 10:30, even if I had to make it, I can't breathe. So it's just, I'm no more in this state of mind. I called my mother. I didn't live with my mom at the time, but I just called her on the phone. She just heard my voice. Call the ambulance now. You can't do this to yourself. I started crying. So I said, Mom, but why? I have an interview. Why would you make me do this? She said, just do it. I know you have an interview. Don't worry about it. And when I think of incidents like this, where I thought, you know, when you're in the hospital, you feel like giving up, because you're not giving up because of the pain, but you're giving up because of the sheer embarrassment that sickle cell is bringing on you. Sickle cell brings embarrassment. It brings embarrassment if you're a mother, you can't meet those, you know, those duties you should give your kids. I've had to absorb embarrassment. Like, rather than me look at my mother take my kids to school, I'm sometimes so embarrassed that why can't I be the one doing these things? But sickle cell makes you so ashamed, and so you ask yourself questions all the time. Why me? Why am I in this pain? Why can't I go to clubs? Why can't I go to that restaurant? Why can't I go on that date? Why can't I have kids when I want to have kids? Why does the doctor have to tell me, you can't do this, you can't do this? So when I wrote the book, I figured that life is pain. And I also figured that it's not just sickle cell pain, the pain, and this is why I love Bahrain so much. Because it's not just sickle cell pain, because when I'm when I'm in hospital, I'm in heaven, because I'm really out there relaxing, and I don't have to worry about the outer world stress of what I have to tell my employee, because I just sent a letter about what Painless is all really focused on is that pain when you actually get out of the hospital world, that secluded environment where people are protecting you. They bring your food, they bring your water. Even if my mom doesn't visit, there's always food for me to eat. Even if nothing happens, there's always that protection. The outer world doesn't do that to you. When you're in the outer world, whether you're in pain or not pain, people just see you as this human being. So you have to figure out how to be painless so you could fit into the outer world. How do you live with your pain and find your joy? And this is what my book was all about, living with any kind of sickle cell pain or whatever pain it might be, getting a job, how I got into my job, my first job, how I did my wedding when I was at the height of my sickle cell pain, but I still managed to say to my husband, yeah, we are going to get married. I know we're going to do it, we can make it. And going ahead with the wedding, making people travel from around the world to come to this wedding, how I persevered and made that work, how I got into the investment banking world when people said, someone like you will never make it because they don't like when people miss out on work, they don't like when people have bad behaviors. So Painless was all about that, helping people to live with whatever challenges you have. That's how do you make the world include you in their own world.
When was this book published?
It was published in 2019.
19,
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And what about Painless Universal?
The pandemic, actually. Initially, I thought pain was just sickle cell. I was always selfish about sickle cell and myself. I thought, no, it's painless. It's just us. We're the only one dealing with pain. My mom used to tell me and my sisters, and you're not the only one in pain. I'm also suffering here. I was like, oh gosh, what do you mean you're suffering? Have you seen my own pain, what I'm going through? And the pandemic gave me a different perspective of life, that everyone is in pain. Even someone who is going through a divorce, someone who's lost his business, someone who's an entrepreneur just starting, trying to
pain,
yeah. So we have a supermarket of pain in this world. And
I love the usage. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about Painless, we think about supermarket, people going into the supermarket and thinking all kinds of pain, and then think about solutions of how to deal with those pain. And I thought we design a platform where we have conversations with people, of all kinds of people around the world, to talk about their pain and how they've navigated that pain and turned that pain into joy. Because when you look at all our situation, even when someone with sickle cell, because he's very similar to someone who's homeless, Because when you're sickle cell, you almost feel like you're homeless because most of them are not able to buy homes. So how did that person who is homeless able to turn their situation around? That could also apply to someone who's with sickle cell. How can you turn your situation around? I see a lot of us who are living with sickle cell, we feel pity on ourselves because we feel the world owes us because we're born with this. But when you look around and realize that everybody's in struggle, we also then have an empathy to others, and then they have that embracing us and start appreciating us. So that's what we do at Painless, is having conversation with people around the world to understand people's pain, and then we advise governments and companies who are going through any kinds of pain, like recruitment pain, equality pain, or motivating your staff to get back to work pain. So we do all
I think that's what the world wants these days. Especially the pandemic has taught us that big lesson, isn't it?
It has.
We should be there.
Yes, yes.
For others. And on that note, let me come to Zakariya back again. The pandemic. How is the pandemic with the sickle cell community in Bahrain? Well, Bahrain has always been striving, and I know under your guidance, with the support from the leadership, this story of inspiration is always there. I remember you telling people like how to live with it, how to cope up, how to be balanced, etc., etc. But pandemic was something new to everyone, isn't it? We did not have any. We never knew like what is going to happen. So how is it with your community?
I consider myself I'm lucky because I'm in Bahrain, because I have all the support.
You're right.
This is one. Second, pandemic taught me a lesson and made me to reorganize and manage my priority and paper. I end up with 3 products. Pandemic taught me that I have to focus what I want to say and what to do. So I end up with the 3 products. Awareness. I have to educate people. Then I have to encourage people to act responsible. And if people have the awareness and act responsible, we hope that it will work and we can save lives. So 3, awareness, responsibility, hope. This is pandemic taught us a lesson. So in Bahrain, yes, when I see in USA my colleagues, people with sickle cell, being asked to go home and trade themselves and to try to manage, I have seen green light at the hospitals for sickle cell. Service continue. And we have seen so many creative, we change things. We educate patients how to do, how to live safely, how to protect themselves. Also, we have done a special track for them. We made a telemedicine. We made door-to-door delivery medication.
Delivery.
And we make sure that every sickle cell patient, he will receive his care. And that made us to save lives. We lost only 3 because of sickle cell. And we are the type of, the less immunity people. But we lost only 3 because we educate our community. We did well of taking care of them. I didn't do that alone. It was me, Ministry of Health, the government, the Prime Minister, Crown Prince. All together we worked very hard. And we instead, when we saw the care provider busy with what they do, I thought this is a good time to educate. Educate, it's how to save lives, and showed me that education is a strong weapon, either for illness or for pandemic. So this is how we did, And it's not only that, we use the experience we gain from pandemic. We were sharing this information with the globally. So we went for different platforms. Weekly, we go for 8 different platforms to talk internationally and to help other nations and to make sure that other nation is taking care of themselves or to get the proper information. Also, we work with the pharma to accelerate generating the new medication line, or to also never stopped us to do the clinical trial studies. I think within the pandemic, given us the time and the some resources to do something different that we might not do in the normal life, like telemedicine, like delivering the medicine door to door, like doing the trial studies. Maybe we would at the normal life, normal time, we'll say we don't have time for this, postpone it, let's go for the priority. But that pandemic given us the opportunity to do well.
Yeah, these are the positives of the pandemic, And especially when you said like going to international platforms, it's possible because of this virtual connectivity that the pandemic has gifted us. So looking at it, and I must say, Zakariya, when you said about we only lost 3, definitely every life matters, but we lost only 3. I would salute the community here. You, the health ministry, the government, the decision makers, everybody put your efforts in. But then we had a responsible community who took the awareness in the right way, and they behaved in a very responsible manner, isn't it?
That's why I said awareness,
yes,
responsibility,
great.
hope. If a patient or community or care provider or decision maker or policy maker didn't act responsible, we will fail. If they act responsible but they don't have awareness, we will fail.
Yes.
If we have awareness and we act responsible but we don't have hope, we will fail. These 3 together can come, but these come after the pandemic. Pandemic show us if you don't have the awareness, if you don't act responsible, if you don't hope this will work, the COVID will be increased.
Right.
And it is the same. Use the same term with the other disease.
Yes.
It is the same.
Definitely. These are great lessons that we are listening to two warriors. They're not saying out of the blue, or they're not assuming things, but they are people who are going through this. They are living this. And these are, I would call them gems of advice and gems of your experiences, which I hope people will get benefited from. And on that note, let's take a short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back to BMC Studios, and tonight on Success Statements we have Anne Welsh and Zakariya Al Kadhem. Anne and Zakariya, as we come to the close of this beautiful evening show, let us know, like, what does Amplify Sickle Cell Voice International have for the region and Bahrain? Because we have the man himself heading such an important organization which aims at amplifying sickle cell voice. Well, both of you said Bahrain's lesson, you described it as a secret. It's not anymore going to be a secret indeed. But let me begin with you, Anne. So what do we have as we move out of the pandemic? We still do not know. I'm so we cannot say that, you know. We have been talking of post-pandemic in 2020.
Yes.
Again, we continued talking post-pandemic in 2020 when we are still talking about waves of pandemic. So I do not know, but yet we are slowly overcoming the crisis situation. And what does Amplify have for Bahrain and for the region?
Definitely. One of the key things Amplify will have is that we'll take lessons from the pandemic. We will not disregard them, such as Zoom lessons and access to virtual. Because one of the things we did learn is that many sickle cell did appreciate some of the, like in the United Kingdom, we appreciated some of the doctor calling rather than we having to go into hospital when we, you know, when you're feeling well. It's just a basic checkup. If you don't need my blood, if you don't need this, why do I need to go up to make that effort to drive in when I'm actually really tired? So it's that core, that online communication. I think now that we're slowly, gradually getting out of there, we don't want to lose some of those lessons that were being built. That door-to-door medication delivery. If the person is in pain and urgently needs medicine, before there was just that was never an option. But there were some options that were presented that we didn't even know can even be made. Now these options are presented. Let's try and keep those options going. In Amplify, we want to take what Bahrain is doing and what they're doing very well. We want to amplify it to the rest of the world. We want to start in places that are hard to reach, like continents like Africa continent, the European continent, India. Not that these people are not doing well in their different buckets, but we need to just show them examples of what is being done here so that they could utilize it and in their own region, in their own country, and see how they could help improve the lives of people with sickle cell. Because when you have sickle cell, there is hope. And we don't want you to be see someone, a child born with sickle cell, and just believe that it's over. This child is never going to be a contributor to your society. That's not always the case. People with sickle cell are actually known to be the most creative people in the world. If you give them that opportunity, because they use their pain to do other things. They use their pain to think. I know myself, for example, in terms of many people, I graduated very late. But in terms of my success level, I overtook so many other people because of my creativity. We could see things and we could make magic out of anything. And I don't just speak for myself, I speak for the community at large. When you listen to this a sickle cell person, they're just born with such creativity. So why do we say that this person who's going to bring so much innovation to the world, they're the next generation of change from the way we handle things, like, for example, okay, I started Painless Universal because of my own pain, realizing that it's not just me in pain. There's someone else with sickle cell will start something else that they could do drawing, and their artistic work is so beautiful. Why would we waste that?
I agree with you 100%. I had to intervene because I have seen some brilliant creativity in Bahrain, and I must mention about my very dear ex-colleague, Haura Marhoon. She's a brilliant photographer, and I still remember we used to work on projects together, and she would suddenly call up and say, I cannot make it. But, you know, the spirit in her voice, that we will do it, we can do it, finding ways out of it, and her clicks are really beautiful. And 2 little ones, 2 babies, she's got 2 babies. So, Haura, if you're watching us, salute from me, because I adore her. Haura is just an example of what you said, the creative world out there.
Absolutely.
Sorry to have interrupted
you.
No,
absolutely. So this is what we're trying to, what we hoping to do. It's always never easy because the pandemic also has brought more challenges as well, with more other illnesses popping up. Post COVID, people are not quite sure how their body will react to COVID. So we want to keep that voice that people remember the chronic illness and the chronic pain that comes from sickle cell, and how to maintain that and keep it going, keep sickle cell alive again. That's what we want to do.
And Zakariya, what about from your point of view? You're heading Amplify Sickle Cell Voice, such a great moment for Bahrain, isn't it? And a well-deserved honor for all the hard work that you and your team did. So we are now a lesson to the world, Bahrain. But what does Bahrain look for from this Amplify Sickle? How do you think we can benefit? Than just giving. We are ready to give, but then what else?
I think I was be considered as a father for 9,000. I wake up, I am responsible for 27 million.
Great.
It's 27 million people living with sickle cell and 365 million living with the gene sickle cell trait. That's a big number. With the challenge, yes, I'm comfortable. I can't say easy, I'm lucky I'm in Bahrain because government is sponsoring my treatment my medication. While in Africa, family struggle to feed their children if rather to buy the medication. And if you look at the medication, it is costly, very, very costly. So family, they cannot afford it in Africa. They cannot afford it in India. India, they have 1.4 million
Yes.
living with sickle cell. Majority, they are the poor.
Yeah. Yes.
Segmentation people. These, they don't have the ability to afford the medication. This is a challenge for me. I look at this as a challenge. How can I do? How can I behave? How can I act? And also there is another challenge that 75% of the children will die by 2030 before reaching age 5.
5, yes.
75
That is an alarming statistic.
African, this is WHO says, 2030, children of African children, they will die. Children with sickle cell, they will die
before the age of 5.
Age 5. How can I do? How to stop that? How to postpone, or how to slow down that one? Can we postpone 2030? Can we do something? I think we have to act now. I shouldn't only say let's do the proper education, awareness, advocacy. Then the normal one. So no use. Don't use the old trick to solve. You know, this crisis will happen. This disaster will happen. What you will do? You have to do something. So we decide and amplify to play bigger role.
Right.
We have to play politics, and we have to play economics, and we have to play awareness and education. We have to put more pressure. We have to ask political leaders to act responsible. We have to encourage them. And we become an idea, we brought an idea, we will end up with an idea, Republic of Sickle Cell. We are 27 million.
Okay.
Rotary Club, they have seat in United Nations. They are only 2 million.
2 million, yeah.
We are 27 million. We deserve a seat in United Nations. We are a big number. We can push, we can put a pressure, and we can save. We shall put a mission that to save African kids' life. We should work very hard. And we should work very hard to reduce the cost of medication. And we should work very hard to do much more for screening in Africa by providing the devices or the kits to do the screening and make it cheap as much as we can to raise the awareness. We have to work very hard to working with the policymakers to create a new law, a new regulation to enable the sickle cell people with sickle cell to succeed in the schooling, to protect them at the childhood, and to protect them finding a job. And we noticed that very few people, the high utilizer of hospitals, the people who couldn't find a job, who experiment the failure in the marriage, and they are socially disconnected. But if we given them the help, either regulation and government, the community, financially and enable them and empowering them, I think we will cut costs, we will save, and we will save resources. I think Africa need our help. Bahrain, with the knowledge, as we learned from our King, His Majesty, our hand is, we have to do our responsibility. I think Bahrain could help by leading global to protect children's life in Africa. This is my mission. This is what I look to the next mission.
What a beautiful mission. We wish you all the best, Team Amplify, to go forward on your mission, which is with a cause, a very genuine cause, a dedicated cause, a larger cause. And we look forward to hearing more from you. And on that note, let's hear from you a little bit about your dear families. And would you like to tell us about your beautiful family?
I am a mother of two, and my husband is also in London with my two kids right now. So whenever I have to travel, he looks after them.
How old are your children?
My son is 12. He loves ice hockey.
Okay.
It's not a big sport in London. But my husband is Canadian, and he used to play for the NHL, the junior league part, and now he's assisting my son follows the league, and he now plays for England under 12, under 14, I mean. My little daughter is 4 years old.
Okay.
She's going to be 5 in June. She's just a little girl. I'm not so concerned in putting her into anything because I've seen the ice hockey challenge, especially with someone like myself, living with sickle cell and going into the cold ice ring. So I think I've been successful with my son. I don't think I want to do it for my daughter, but she's insisting on becoming a figure skater. We'll see. And I just live in London and run the organization from there. My husband does his own business in oil and gas, and we just live simply with my family all around us. We all live in London. So my sisters and my mother, we all live there. We're just a simple family and try to have a community because we've just realized without community then it's actually better. So when I'm in hospital, for example, my mom I moved over to be closer to my mom. So when I'm in hospital, my husband takes me there. My mom comes over to stay with the kids. So even though we have help at home, it's always nice that you have someone who's relatable to the kids that could also be a mother. And being with someone who's with sickle cell, I always try and stay back. I'm not so aggressive with my kid in terms of it has to be me to do things. I understand my weakness. I understand sometimes I'm tired, I need to rest. And as a family, I try and teach the kids as well because I just don't want it to be a shock to them. So I tell them, Mommy has to sleep today because she's very tired. And they understand. That's how we just live. And my mom is always so very protective of me.
Beautiful.
Yeah. She calls me every day. Even on this trip, she's called me like 5 times. She's always calling. She's very protective.
Great.
That's
Mothers are.
Yeah.
Zakariya, tell us about your beautiful family.
I'm a father of 2, Ibrahim and Ilyas.
Ibrahim and?
Ilyas.
Ilyas, okay.
Yeah, my
2
Ibrahim
boys.
is in the 3rd year doing chemical engineering in Bahrain University. And Ilyas, he's in class 10. Ibrahim, he got a scholarship from Bahrain Petroleum Company. And his scholarship it was in T Castle University, but he's chosen to be in Bahrain.
Okay, interesting.
So the Bahrain Petroleum Company asked him, why you chosen to be in Bahrain? He said, my father living with an illness or disease. And sometime he might get in the ICU and my mother will be alone. She might need somebody.
That's very sweet of him.
Yeah. So he chosen to be beside us.
God bless.
And just to tell you this, how I'm lucky. I am the oldest son for a father who spent his life doing business, tourism business.
Of course, Al Kadhem. Who
Yes.
doesn't know Al Kadhem travels, tourism travels.
And he came to me and said, I am in the age I have to retire and you are the eldest, you have to take the responsibility. I said, if you excuse me, after your permission, I don't see you myself in the business field. I don't want to be in the business. I want to be with the people. He said, this will affect your life. It will affect the quality of your children You will go to the government hospital. You will live in different than your brothers. Said yes, my family, they are happy with that. So I live with my pension, retirement. I disconnect myself from business in 2009. I found my joy. I found myself living like with people. I feel their pain. I see the challenge. I know how what pain is mean. I deserve to be a father if I live like them, not to live like a superior with a spoon of gold and say life is easy. I'm lucky. Okay, live like them. Then say so.
Yeah.
This is my
Step into
this is my
and feel
life.
pinched. That's right.
I'm lucky. At the end, I say I have wonderful family, supportive. They are happy. My kids, they never complain. Say you didn't take us to travel here and there. Even though our families is taking people everywhere, but my kids, they are stuck in Bahrain for 8 years. They didn't travel because they are stuck with my budget. They stuck with my my health condition. They never complain. They never ask. They live and they support. I consider myself, I'm lucky.
I like this positivity amidst all the painful stories that you've been telling. I love the smiles on your face. We at the team BMC, we're really happy to have you with us this evening. Can I have your wrapping comments, please? Anne.
I think life is full of pain. It doesn't matter where you look. But in the midst of pain, never forget to look for your joy, because that's the only thing that will get you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you only see pain, you will never see the reason to get up and smile the next day. Appreciate life. Be grateful that you have the opportunity to see a new day. And I want to thank you as well so much for this opportunity to speak to yourself and the whole team here, because it's always wonderful when we could just share our stories with others and let them know that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
I found my mission and I found my passion. And each of us has his own mission and his passion. Look for it. I have learned from Lady Anne, I have to write my story. And I will encourage everybody, go and write your story. Yes. Your story, you sacrifice, you have done a lot for yourself and for your family. And this will remain only for 30 years. Children, your first line of kids, they will know, but your grandson, they will get to know that they had a grandfather with a great effort, but they will forget. But if you wrote your story,
yes, engrave it.
It will remain. All of us dream that if we found that time machine to go back and to meet our grandfathers, 200 years, 300 years. But we have the opportunity rather to go backward. We go forward by writing your story, and showed me that you can travel forward, write your story, and tell people why you exist, why God created you. Then you will find out whom you are. Thank you
very much. Thank you. We are very happy to have you with us this
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you. The marks human beings leave are too often scars. John Green. These warriors have just one plea to us, caregivers, decision makers, policy makers, and common public, including you and me, to be kind to them. Let's not gift them scars which are more painful than what they are suffering from. On that note, we are saying good night to Zakariya Al Kadhem and Anne Welsh on Success Statements from BMC Global Live. Until we meet next week with yet another guest, this is Raji Unnikrishnan signing off. Good night.